Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Hearing Things with Julie and Brad. This is take two on this episode. The last time we tried to do this, the sound was not cooperating, but I think we figured it out, and we're going to make it happen today without the microphone.
Got it.
So, I'm loud enough for the both of us. Yeah. Today is actually really cool. Brad did a ton of research on this, and I learned that ALS does not always stand for American Sign Language. Oh, I set it up already. That's ASL. Don't listen to me. ALS, Assisted Listening Systems.
Right. Not also Lou Gehrig's disease.
Right. Sadly, that's not what we're talking about today. Although that is a very important topic. I know Pete Frates from Boston College started the Ice Bucket Challenge, and BC does a lot of fundraising for research for that disease. But shifting gears, ALS, Assisted Listening Systems, and my dyslexic ADHD brain, that it is ASL. And messed the whole thing up last time we talked about it. So this is all you, bud. Okay. I'm excited. Take it away.
So this was actually an email that I got from Wynne Wyman. And she and Juliëtte Sterkens have done so much work when it comes to ALS systems around the country. And specifically raising awareness for hearing loops. It's so important because a hearing loop is only one type of ALS. And the email that I got from Wynne was about latency with the Wi Fi version of the ALS. And so with a hearing loop, around the perimeter of a room, it lays a copper wire, a copper coil. And that copper coil is hooked up to the AV system. And that AV system can send the sound to our hearing aids when our hearing aids are set to the T-coil setting. And so that's one system, and the technology's been around. For decades.
As long as I remember.
I've only used it.
I don't think I've ever had hearing aids that didn't have a T-coil.
I didn't either. I've had hearing aids just 20 years. Every single set has had a T-coil, but I've only used it in the last 2 years because the awareness isn't there. Sure. Which is kind of what Wynne and Juliëtte are doing, is trying to raise the awareness. But unfortunately, the technology is old, and so and it's very expensive. So when I was looking for an ALS for my system, I wanted a hearing loop because that still is the gold standard when it comes to assisted listening systems.
That's so interesting.
But the problem is you have to lay it underneath the floor so no one will like trip over it. You can tape it down and put like rugs over it, but there's still like fire hazards and tripping hazards. And so to like drill into the floor is not a small fee, right? So it's going to cost so much. So that's where the other technologies come in, and one of them is the Wi-Fi. And so what that is basically like when you connect your computer or your phone or your iPad to your wireless network. It's the same basic thing. There's a dedicated device that sends the signal from the AV system to your hearing aids through the Wi-Fi instead of that copper coil. The issue with that is there's a delay. And so that's where the latency happens. And so when you're tapping into an ALS, you want the people that don't need the ALS to actually hear it as well. So the latency issue comes in when the speakers in the room will say something, and then a fraction of a second later, the Wi-Fi will say it. So you're going to hear an echo because you're going to hear it twice.
Right.
And so the latency doesn't actually meet ADA standards because it's kind of unusable depending on how bad the latency is.
And as someone that lip reads, you're already 3 sentences down the road while I'm getting the input from 2 sentences ago. And if I'm looking at you, your mouth is moving and it's not lining up with what I'm receiving. Oh, that's frustrating.
So that's why the Wi-Fi systems aren't always the best bet, because they have more of a chance to have that latency problem. So the other systems we talked about the T-coil, right? So that's the oldest system, and that doesn't have latency. The Wi-Fi can have latency. And there are 2 other systems that you can use. You can use FM and infrared. So FM uses radio waves, hence FM, and infrared uses light. And so neither one of those have that latency issue, because Wi-Fi, I'm sure everyone's had issues with the Wi-Fi at work or at school or at home. So that problem is exacerbated when you're trying to use the Wi-Fi as an ALS as well.
Can I ask a question, because I don't understand things?
Sure.
So if I'm going to use a Wi-Fi system, is there a setting on my hearing aids to connect? Does it have to be Bluetooth, or is it just magically getting in there? Because I know it's like the T-coil. I have to switch it to a T-coil setting.
Right, because you have.
Can you just give me like a layman's version of like 2 sentences of how it works?
It's so two different ways.
Okay.
There's either an app for that, and so you would download the app,
right?
And because most of us have our phones paired to our hearing aids through Bluetooth.
Oh, it would come through that way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the physical hearing aid.
Right, because you can't have.
Got it. Okay.
There's no like Wi-Fi adapter in your hearing aids. Why would you know?
That's why I got confused. I wanted to ask because I was like, it's something I'm missing. Okay, keep going.
The other thing would be like a receiver. So there's like a device that kind of looks like this that plugs in either headphones or there's something called a neck loop. And so instead of headphones, it's just a loop that goes around your neck. That's why it's called a neck loop. So it's like a mini T-coil. And so that can receive the Wi-Fi signal and then translate it into a T-coil signal, then connect to your hearing aids. So you can see how many hops, right? So AV system to a Wi-Fi transmitter to a Wi-Fi receiver to the T-coil to your hearing aids or to the phone to your hearing aids. So it's complex, but the reason why they really took off, it's a hell of a lot cheaper. And so if you've heard of Auracast, that's coming down the road. That's working similarly to the Wi-Fi, but instead of using Wi-Fi, it's using the Bluetooth connection. And Bluetooth connections are very quick.
So that eliminates some of the latency.
Right. So that'll eliminate all the latency, theoretically.
I mean, there's an argument that it's not ADA compliant
it's
because
not.
It's not, and it's
problematic.
Lack of access, right? It's again breadcrumbs that we're being thrown to our community that we've accepted for so long as good enough. But that's another show.
Right.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so I ended up going with an FM system for my library because it was cheaper than a T-coil, but it didn't have any latency. And so we have little receivers that people can not check out. They just use during the program. The issue that we haven't used it yet, so it'll be interesting to see when we use it because you always have those presenters who are like, oh, I don't need a microphone. I can speak loud enough. Problem with that is if you're not using the microphone, it's not attached to the system, and so it's not actually usable.
And again, lack of access.
Yeah. So the FM system has a lot of different options. That's one of the reasons I'm glad we were able to go with it because it has the receiver and then it has a set of headphones for people who need an assisted listening system but don't yet have hearing aids.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice. So it just works as like a personal amplifier essentially. And then it has the receiver. You can unplug the headphones and plug in the neck loop, and so anyone with T-coil and the hearing aids can use the receiver to connect to the T-coil in your hearing aids, and then there's an app for it, and so you can have the app.
So all those options with that one system have now. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so it gives you a lot of options.
Great.
So we only have 6 receivers. So
that was my next question. What happens when you have a room full of people with hearing aids?
So luckily, so many people do use their phone. I was okay with only getting the 6 receivers because the app is so easy to use.
Because it has the option for the app.
So
you could have 20 of us in a room.
Yep.
And we can all access it.
Yeah, so
some way. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's called Wavecast. I don't know if I'm going to show it here. Yeah, so I don't know if you can. Yeah, you can't see it because of the backlight. But you download the app and it automatically it's tapped right into the system.
Great.
And so it's great because we don't have the latency issue that Win and Juliëtte were talking about. I'll post a link to the website that Win maintains. A lot of good resources and information on ALSs. And then there's a TED Talk that, Dr. Juliëtte Sterkens. I always like to make sure that I give people the proper credentials. She has a TED Talk about T-coils and the need for T-coils that just reached 1 million views this year. So it's back from 2012 is when she wrote it. So I'll post a link to that too because it's totally worth watching because I work with technology, but I'm not an expert on it. And so being able to point people to the people who are experts and do it for a living, basically, is more valuable than me trying to say I know what I'm talking about.
You know what's so exciting about this? I think this is one of the rare instances where someone with hearing loss was involved in making the decision about the assisted listening system. I can't imagine that most places have someone with the hearing loss consulting or giving feedback as that decision is made.
Yeah. It's not because it's an afterthought, right? I mean, ADA compliance should be part of the building plans, and this is what happens with a lot of building plans is you plan for the ALS so you don't have to rip up the floor, so you can get the T-coil laid before you put the foundation and the concrete in, and then budget overruns, right? And that's the first thing that gets cut, which is a shame that it's not against the law. I mean, I guess technically it is, but there's really no enforcement arm of the ADA, and so they can get away with doing it. And so that's why thank you for letting me talk about this topic, because we need to have this conversation.
That's huge.
And continue to have it. Yeah.
I mean, not to be a downer, you and I have talked about this, but a lot of you watching, eventually, you're going to join our club. I hate to break it to you, but we come to the deaf side, right? But as you age, you lose hearing. So this is information for everybody to kind of have on their radar as you get older. You may find yourself putting captions on at home. Don't be afraid to ask for an accommodation if you're at a play or a show or a speech or a comedian show or something. See if it's there. Try it out. It's okay. It's only going to enhance the experience. Because, again, as I said, get comfortable with this, because a lot of you are likely going to have to deal with this at some point in your life.
Yeah. So please, if you have any questions or whatever, comment below, and I will see. If I can't answer them, I'll point you to information that can, because these are conversations that need to happen.
Absolutely.
All the time.
That was great. Thank you. That was very interesting.
Thank you.
Cool.
What do we got? Books?
I do.
Do you want a book?
I don't remember the name of it.
Do you want me to go first to buy time?
Go first. Yes, I know it's Onyx something. And there were dragons, and it's awesome. And I cannot remember the name.
It's awesome. Don't let the fact that you can't remember the title.
It's so good.
No. So I am going to recommend The Secret Lives of Introverts. And so, I
looked at this the other day.
So it's a great book. It's kind of picks up where Quiet left off. That it kind of gives me tools on how to live my life in a world that's not made for me in the introvert version, because we live in an extroverted world.
You do.
And so it's really hard to be an introvert in an extroverted world where the things that I'm good at aren't rewarded as much as the things that extroverts are good at. And so this gives you validation. It proves that there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just an introvert. So,
it's great. I read a little bit of this when we were together last week, and my favorite heading under chapter 2, for extroverts, it's all about dosage. So apparently I come in prescription dosage for Brad. Like there's so many milliliters of my energy that he can take on any given day. I still don't know the name of this book. Hold on.
Onyx Storm?
Yes, by Rebecca Yarros. Onyx something. It's awesome. Are you done, by the way?
Yes,
I just dove right in. So it's the third book in the trilogy that starts with The Fourth Wing. Fantastic. I am not a fantasy sci-fi kind of gal, and I fell in love with the series. I've decided I am in love with dragons. I need one. If anyone is looking for a holiday gift, a dragon that can speak with me telepathically would be amazing, because that's kind of the big overarch of the story. So good. For someone that's not into fantasy, this is an excellent trilogy to read. The story is as strong in the third book as it was in the first and the second. It is woven so beautifully. Highly recommend it.
So that's really funny. I haven't read this yet. It is on my list. But you should read, if you like telepathic dragons.
Yes.
Read The Dragon Riders of Pern by Anne McCaffrey.
Okay, you get it.
I'll let you know.
I'll
let you know. But anyway, so
obsessed.
There you go. So dragons gets a Julie's stamp of approval.
That's right. That's great. Highly recommend it. It's a fun read. I enjoy reading it at night before bed. It's mindless, but it captures the characters are really cool and like realistic, and even though it's fantasy, they're humans with human traits and human problems and human emotions. So it's relatable. I'm in love with it.
Excellent. Right.
Awesome. Big fan.
That's it for this week.
That's it. Thank you. That was great research on your part.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well done, friends.
Cool.